Oh,
All right. Sorry, guys, for the audio checks. Anyway, we are here today at the Baku Street Circuit here in Azerbaijan, and join with me here in the booth. I have the pleasure of having Freddie Rizal, the man, the myth, the legend. How's it going, Fred?
absolutely amazing. Second time round and second time the best round. Yeah, I'm doing good. Like I said, we were both muted. This is my third broadcast in a row, and this is the best out of a bunch, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, I always do love doing D2. I know that you're saying that you've had a good day today, but I don't think we can ignore the elephant in the room here, Freddie. Both of us have had quite a rough day after England football has lost to France.
Yeah, but it's okay because we've got D2.
Yeah, so
Definitely,
we're
it's
gonna
out.
forget that ever even happened, right? We're just gonna move on. See you in 4
Absolutely.
years. Coming home.
We'll see.
All right. Well, we did join into qualification a little bit late here today. We do have drivers already on laps. Sid Satgare just now going out for a lap. Dougie Falcons just crosses the line, puts up a time of 1:51. Not sure what happened there, but that's not the kind of time that we would expect from Dougie. 10 seconds slow. So, but he's got 2 more chances to get a lap in. We've got more drivers crossing the line as we speak, I believe. We got Weil. No, Weil's coming out of the pits. Alex Duarte is coming down. He's invalidated his lap. Sneaky. That's a sneaky lap that he puts in right there. 39.6. So that's a little bit unusual. Haven't seen a lot of that from him.
Yeah, so that's a really good lap from a reserve we don't really know much about. But we do have Ryan Newton up there. He's showing really good pace in D2 this season. Definitely a top 5 driver, I'd say.
Yeah, this whole season, it's kind of strange because I believe he was the, 20th pick in Division 2? So he did fall all the way to the end. Ryan Newton. He is going by a different alias for this season. He switched his name to Ryan Newton. Used to be formerly known as Barney Goatmere. But he has always been so strong in qualifying. It's just always been about what can Ryan do when it comes to the race. And Baku is one of those tracks that it's so easy to, you make one little slip up, you hit the wall, wings broken, race is over. You're begging for a safety car. And I think that we may see Ryan get into a little bit of trouble with that today. I don't want to curse him, but he's been known to get into those sort of situations.
Yeah, and so have Williams. These past 2 races for the last 2 divisions has always been Williams incidents. And we know Ryan, he's definitely a driver that loves to be in an incident. He just loves to be sniffing someone's backside most of the race. Gearbox, that's a word.
You're looking for, yeah. Weil going wide through turn 1. He's on a hot lap right now. I think he'll be the last driver he'll be the latest driver to go out for his first hot lap. Everyone else has gone out. This is Weil's first attempt at it. He is head through sector 1 right now, but he needs to get something on the board because there's only 9 minutes left in this session. Regardless of what happens right here, he's only going to get 1 more chance after this, and it would not be a good feeling going into your final run without having a time on the board or even a delta on the board to compare to. So Weil looking really clean so far, but there's a lot of speed that you can carry through these corners, and sometimes it's kind of hard to judge when we're spectating from this camera, how fast these drivers are really going, if it's a good lap or if it's not. Just something that we need to take a look at the deltas when they go through their sector markers.
Yeah, so Sid just crossed the line, putting a 40.4, and I thought I would have expected a bit more. Maybe had a few moments through sector 2 possibly, or just wherever on the track. As the track's it's a track where it's got no grip at all, I'd say. Maybe not in quali, but in the race for sure.
A very low grip track, and also it's a track that is very high on tire wear as well. I know throughout the week we've seen a lot of complaints. The rear tires, no matter what you do to your setup, they just absolutely get cooked, and that's because there are a lot of traction zones at this track, and traction zones, that's going to mean tire wear to the rears. So naturally, gonna do what you can to keep those rears preserved, but it definitely makes for some interesting tire strategies as well.
Absolutely.
So Wile's going to come across the line, and after he finishes his lap, he's going to have a little spin. That won't have any effect on anything except for getting back to the pits. So he's going to have to get back to the pits now. We've got a couple other drivers who are either out on laps or starting laps now. We've got Seb, Division 3 driver, just came off of a Division 3 win, getting the opportunity today to show what he's made of in Division 2. Currently sitting P6 with a 140.0, missing the apex and running potentially a little bit wide through there, but still carrying a lot of speed. And Seb has a good lap going.
Absolutely, I'm on board with Connie Edwards, just starting Sector 3 now. He's just got a 16.1 coming out of Sector 2. Obviously, showing the purple Sector 2. That is Colin Edwards now coming down.
Colin Edwards, yeah.
On the main straight.
So he's going to be coming to the finish line. Got that DRS pop. He might actually hit below 10% battery, which you don't want to do here. It'll be close, no. Won't be enough to affect his lap. Colin Edwards puts up a 140.2. He's going to be P9 for the moment. We'll hop back on board with our reserve driver of Seb as he's coming through the tail end of the second sector past Castle section, which we've seen to be so deadly through these earlier two divisions. He's going to get a little bit of traffic, but still carry a lot of speed, and he's warmed up for this. You know, a lot of these guys are coming in. This is maybe some of their first laps for the day here. Seb just did a 50% race here. He put up qualifying times already. Impressive qualifying times at that. I believe qualifying P2. And he's got a pretty good lap coming in right here. We're going to see what he comes across the line at. Getting a little bit of a toe, sneaking one from the AlphaTauri. It's a little bit dangerous, but you got to do what you got to do to sneak out every 10th you can. He's going to come across the line, and he's going to improve by a little less than a 10th. And it's going to put him up to P5. We got more drivers rapid fire coming across the line. There's a Ferrari of Eruption crossing, and he's not going to improve. We got a Mercedes who just crossed as well, and that's going to be Lights going on pole. A Haas behind him. That could be combined YouTuber. And he's starting a lap. Okay, so Sid Satgare's in the pits. Eric McNerney looks like he is also in the pits. Got an Aston Martin of... Which Aston Martin is that? It's going to be Nathan Doan coming to the line. Might improve. He improves a little bit. He's going to go to P5. So a little less than a 10th improvement. And there is a Williams, a Garrett Elder, coming across with a 39.1. Very impressive time.
Yeah, Garrett's qualifying pace has really been strong. So once again, it's another Williams driver up there as well. And honestly, I can't remember if they've actually been doing good or not. I know Ryan's been doing good, but from obviously being last on the draft, but Garrett, he's up there too.
Yeah, and that might just be a Williams setup, a 1-2 right now for Williams. I know that we have drivers who are going to be putting in more laps than this, but still very impressive times for the Williams drivers. We have Dougie Falcons who just crossed. He's going to be in P6. An Alpine just crossed of, who was that? Stelios. He improved by 5/10. He's going to go at the P12. Got an Alfa Romeo coming down the front straight right now. Who is that? Is that Seb? That's Seb. He's going to be coming to the pits. And a Ferrari behind him of, is that Eruption? That is Eruption. And I think he's also coming to the pits.
I think Combine's coming to the line right now. He did have an exit, really bad exit on the last turn, and yeah, he's back in the pit.
Give up on it. And we're kind of at that awkward time in the session. There's 4 minutes left. These guys are going to be coming into the pits. They really don't want to be finishing their laps right now anyway. They're going to be heading out for their final laps with around 3 minutes remaining or under. So if anyone were to be on a hot lap at this very moment, it wouldn't be good because that would be their final lap and they wouldn't get the track evolution that everyone else in the session would be getting.
Yeah.
So all of these drivers coming into the pits, it's almost like the rhythm of qualifying. You know what I'm saying?
It's a lot different compared to D3 and D4. Like everyone's like, they just don't care about the time. They just go out whenever they want, really.
Yep. And we start to, as we go up in our divisions, and actually this is something talked in a team principal briefing this week. We talked about it. Not necessarily saying that everyone needs to be on this order, but just kind of a reminder to team principals to help educate their drivers. Hey, there's kind of a standard meta as to when we want to be leaving the pit lane. That would be around the 15-minute mark, around the 9-minute mark, and around the 3-minute mark. If you're
Yeah.
leaving outside of those time windows, or like if you're leaving at something weird like a 7-minute mark, not only are you gonna mess it up for yourself because you leave at the 7-minute mark, that'll be the end of your laps, because you won't have time to get another lap in. So you've missed out on track evolution. That's one problem with it. And then secondly, when you're doing that, it makes it hard to keep track of for other drivers to know if you're on a hot lap or if you're not, because you're now out of the rhythm of qualifying. And you know, a lot of these drivers would be coming in on their in laps at that point, and you'd be out on a hot lap trying to kind of go through the traffic. Can mess up your lap, which would be your last lap, and it could also end up in penalties for other drivers. So to avoid that, to avoid any issues with that, we did sort of make a suggestion, more or less, to team principals. As you see, all the drivers are now coming out at the 3-minute mark or a little bit later. And it might cause a little bit of a traffic jam here at the end of the lap, but this is going to be a much cleaner into qualifying, and it's also going to be faster times as well.
Yeah, so we've got Ethan, actually P18 right now, not having the best season than we all thought, after having an okay Division 3 season from last season. But I think he's another driver that's struggling with the game compared to last season, and I don't think he's really having much fun on it either.
You know, I think he's a driver for Red Bull, and I think that you'd be a little bit accurate on that statement. But I'm gonna also go out on a limb and say I don't think he's the only driver dealing with that right now. Codemasters hasn't provided us with what I would recognize as a finished, polished game. The game is very frustrating in the state it's in currently. It's very inconsistent. Last week, our Division 2 race, you saw we had to nearly scrap. We did scrap half of the race, and we only took half points for it. And these drivers practiced all week for that. It's an absolute shame that we have to deal with this sort of stuff. But Codemasters, like I said, unable to provide a polished game. It makes it really hard for drivers to really bite into the experience and want to get involved. So I understand the feeling of burnout for Ethan Patel, and also the feeling of burnout for other drivers across the league. It's very hard to be enjoying a game when you feel like your time is being wasted. So I'm hoping today for a different experience for our Division 2 drivers, and hoping that we can get a really clean race in here at Baku.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for Ethan Patel to rise and shine like we have been seeing him the last few seasons, and try and get at least a top 10, because it is coming. Time will tell.
So in qualifying right now, we do have a Williams 1-2 for the moment, and there's a lot of times that are going to be coming in that could be faster. I follow Magnus and Cube's Twitter account, and on his Twitter, he posted a very, very impressive time trial time. And I know that doesn't necessarily relate to qualifying times 100%, but he posted the time, and he said, if I don't win ZRL Division 2 this week, we will have problems. So for this final lap, I know we've got Williams in 1-2, but I want to see Magnus and Cube pull off a crazy time, and we'll see what he can do. All of these drivers are on their hot laps. The timer has hit zeros. Magnus and Cube looks strong. Eric McNerney actually was unable to get in a lap. He ran out of time on his way to the line. Ethan Patel's the first one to cross. Doesn't put up an impressive time. He's going to be a 140.5. Now we've got Aston Martin coming across. Is that Nathan Doan? That is Nathan Doan. And Garrett Elder's going to improve on his time a little bit. We got a Ferrari coming across behind him, and that's going to be Eruption. Eruption's going to put up a time of 139.417. We got Aston Martin behind that. Is that Seb? That was Sneaky, and then Seb's going to be crossing the line now. Seb goes P8. We've got a Williams. That is Ryan Newton, who just crossed the line, doesn't improve. And then here comes Max and Cube, and he's going to improve, but not enough to put him on pole. And AlphaTauri behind him is going to go, that's Wyall to P13. An Alpine of Colin Edwards going to be to P10. Mercedes, I believe, was that Lights? Lights is not going to be able to improve. We got another AlphaTauri of Alex Duarte, just crossed the line, not able to do anything with it. And then our final person to cross the line is going to be Mateo. I didn't see where he finished, but
Yeah, he
very
bailed out.
rapid fire. So that is back-to-back weeks of these drivers all coming out very last second in qualifying, and I love it so much. It's a lot of action right at the end of qualifying, but it is very hard to cover, and it's so fun to see these kind of lap times come in such clutch moments at the very end. We're gonna have Garrett Elder on pole, Sneaky in P2, Ryan Newton in P3 to start your front two rows, with Magnus and Cube rounding that off. But we are going to go ahead and head to a quick intermission. We have no formation lap today, guys, so we will be back with you in just a moment. All right, everybody, we are back here about to start Division 2. We have some cloudy skies. The drivers are making their final preparations, the final tuning outside of Parc Ferme. They can adjust their front wing, their fuel levels, their tire pressures, their transmission. They'll tweak it as much as they can to get everything right that they will need for this race. Nerves are definitely setting in at this point. Drivers are focused, and we are getting ready to go racing. Hopefully the game will let us get our camera settings accurate before they take off. Doesn't appear so. I do see 3, 4, 5 lights. And it is lights out and away we go. Looks like we have a good start from Garrett Elder. Or no, a poor start from Garrett Elder. He's going to get jumped by his teammate. And Sneaky heading into turn 1. And Magnus and Cube already trying to make a move on Garrett Elder as well. He's going to hang it down the inside. Lots of position changes. And we have Sneaky going around. I believe he was bumped by Ryan Newton, and Ryan Newton is long and gone. Garrett Elder going 3 wide right here with Sneaky having a great view on it. They're going to be 3 wide into turn 4. Barney's going to back out a little bit.
Oh no, Eruption.
So Eruption is falling down the order. Must have had some action to him. Looks like he's off track down in turn 4. Let's go ahead and check out the tire details for these guys, see what they have done to start the race.
Yes, it looks like it's a bit of a mix, in my opinion. Yeah, I'd say around 10 and 10 drivers on medium and hards.
It's about half and half, isn't it? So Ryan Newton off to an incredible start. He is 2 seconds clear of Magnus and Cube already, who said he must win this race this week. It's crucial for him. You see the tire strategies across the bottom. The medium tire runners are looking to switch to the hard somewhere around lap 12 for the rest of the race. Hard tire runners looking to pit shortly after that to mediums for the rest of the race.
Yeah, one thing I have learned is that the medium hard is probably the better strategy around here.
Yeah, it could be because of the safety car chance. I could definitely see that being the case. Anand Trivedi looking like he had a moment coming out of the final corner, going down to P20. Compared to previous weeks, though, we're not seeing a lot of position changes on this start. A pretty stable or pretty standard start. Ethan Patel, our biggest mover, up 5 places down in P15. He started last place, and then other than that, we've got Eruption and Anand Trivedi who just had moments, and they've gone down the field. Sneaky and Garrett Elder also not having great starts. Sneaky maybe from a little bit of contact with Ryan Newton. The stewards will certainly be reviewing that post-race. But for now, Ryan Newton is still long and gone. The Williams driver having a phenomenal start to his race.
Yeah, so this is what we were saying again. Both Williams drivers having great qualities. Garrett once again having a poor start off the line. But Ryan Newton definitely carrying Williams as Beamer's gone around again and that's his wing gone.
So not what you want to see for Beamer. And safety cars can be triggered very easily here. All it takes is one car losing a wing as you see Beamer getting back going. That one wing being gone could be what causes the safety car to come out, but not this time. The one thing that worries me, Fred, and we don't have a lot of information on this, there is clouds in the air, and we never know how that could end up. Ethan Patel stuck here behind Weil, maybe makes a little bit of contact, and he goes around too. Looks like some contact with Weil, and Mateo more or less didn't recognize it and ended up making contact with Ethan. So both drivers may have some damage. I think Ethan definitely has some damage. Not sure if Weil has damage or not. And then I would imagine that Mateo may have damage for making contact with Ethan as well.
Ethan looks okay and he looks stable for the time being as Sid is around.
Sid Satgar goes around, and that is not good for Sid, who's had such a good start of the season. Unfortunate for him.
Okay too.
Ethan is having to lift around the final two corners. I know those are normally flat out, so that's telling me that I think he may have wing damage. We'll see if he decides to come to the pits right here or not. Either that or it's just a lack of confidence, and he is going to try to come to the pits, get that wing replaced. And that is probably a smart decision. If a safety car were to come out, he's going to be glad that he did that.
We have a DRS train going on right now for the top five, and it's like Combined struggling to get by, trying to get ahead of Dougie, as Combined at the moment is on the superior tires.
Yeah, Dougie Falcon's definitely known to have a lot of pace wherever he's at. Right now, he looks like he's maybe struggling to keep within the DRS of Garrett, though. Well, never mind. You know, Sector 2 is weird. There was over a second gap, but he's already reeled that in to Garrett all the way down to just a few tenths. And I'm not quite sure how battery charge is around here, but a lot of these drivers are choosing to use their battery early, which I find it very interesting.
Yeah.
And Shry goes out of the race. Let's see if we can see what happened. Looks like he went around the high-speed corner. That's going to be a virtual safety car. The VSC is out. It's going to neutralize all cars in their current positions, so our stewards can take care of the number 17 car of It's Shry on track. As we'll see, Ethan Patel might have a better view on this incident, but looks like Shry was going around these high-speed corners, and I've known this curb to be unstable. This curb up here on the inside, we're going to see Ethan Patel cross. This curb, if you hit it going so fast, with any extra steering input, can definitely send you flying. So that's what happened to Shry, and that's going to be the end of the Mercedes drivers' race. And that is huge for constructors as well. I know Ethan Patel's over here having a bad race, but there is Red Bull, I believe, in the mix, as well as the Ferrari team, both fighting for that Constructors' Championship with the Mercedes. And the Mercedes currently have a pretty solid advantage because Lights and Shry have been doing so strong this season. But with one driver down, it's going to be very tough for Lights to make anything happen that's worthwhile for the Mercedes team. Green flags, and the race has been restarted. We are back underway. Doesn't look like we've seen any huge advantages from any drivers. No one decided to take advantage of the pits. Oh, take that back. Ethan Patel decided to come back in again. I'm not sure what that was about.
Looks like Sneaky may have had a really poor start to the series. He's already 2.3 seconds down from Lights.
Yeah. You are accurate in that statement, and Dougie Falcons is going to also have DRS right here on Garrett Elder. Garrett doesn't look like he will have DRS. Garrett does have a lot of battery, though, so I don't think Dougie's going to get by on this occasion. Also, the Williams setup this week, we've seen it in the other divisions, really maxing out on top speed. They have to be running very, very minimum wings to be pulling this off. And I think you'll also see that in Garrett's middle sector. His times probably won't be as good as some of the other drivers.
Yeah, a bit of a DRS train going on right now. It looks like Lights is struggling to get in that DRS zone with Magnussen Cube.
Yep.
As he's cutting that time down really slightly every lap.
But I will say Barney or Ryan Newton, he's also running very, very peak lap times. So it's really hard to even cut any time out at all. The fact that Magnussen has found about a 10th on each of these last 2 laps is still very impressive. He's about a 10th faster than Barney per lap. And if he can keep that up, he will be back in that DRS zone in no time. And Magnussen Cube could be back on in a winning position that he's definitely aspiring to go for. And Sneaky, I don't know what happened to Sneaky, but I think you're right. Something is wrong. I think it's more than a restart. He may have a little bit of front wing damage because Garrett has caught up to him tremendously, and he's even losing more time to lights. It's almost like he is holding up the field at this point. Big train behind Sneaky.
I wonder if Garrett will go for a move on the straight, maybe thinking that he's holding him up too much to
Garrett makes a little contact with the wall. Could be some damage for Garrett, but Garrett is using some battery. He's used about 20% battery down the straight so far. He was at 80% to start it. And even using that battery, no chance that he's getting past Sneaky. Don't know how much Sneaky used, but even with the DRS and a battery usage, a little shocked that he couldn't even make it even recognizable as a fight, really.
I wonder if you forgot about Eruption. He's currently P14.
Yeah, he's down 9 spots, but that spin early on has really put a shunt in his race, and he's just trying to pry back through the field one position at a time. He's doing it, but getting to the field, he's also losing time. He's losing time behind these drivers that he knows he's faster than. Right now, he's got the 12-year-old boy wonder Mateo sitting right in front of him. But right in front of him is Eric McNerney, and there might have been a little bit of contact there. Mateo's definitely hit the wall. I don't know if he has any damage or not. We'll keep an eye on it. Mateo decides to stick it out, but his car just will not break how he wants it to. We'll take a look at Eruption, who's trying to do a little bit of a switch pack. Will Mateo's car stop how he wants to this time? He's going to see Eruption come up his inside. He's going to choose to brake early. And I have a feeling that Mateo may be suffering a little bit of front wing damage. Car doesn't seem to be steering how he wants it to. Look at the understeer. You watch his inputs. It just doesn't look right. So, might see an Aston Martin driver in trouble. Already 6/10 behind Eruption. We'll have to keep an eye on that situation.
He's lost a heck of a time to Ryan. Using all his battery, Ryan's still got a hefty amount.
Oh, you're right. You know what? Magnussen may have had a moment. He may have had a moment where he had to use some extra battery to make up for it.
But Lights has now got DRS to Magnussen Cube. Sneeko gaining some time on Lights as well. But Garrett is now right on the gearbox of Sneaky as a Alpine around.
That's Colin Edwards just missing the turn 1 braking point. Had to use the runoff area to get it back going. Eric McNerney now right on his gearbox. He's going to have DRS here, but he doesn't have the battery. Eric McNerney's in battery troubles. I don't think that's anything that we are finding unusual. Something very common we see from him on a weekly basis. And we always talk about that, and it's so strange. He's got serious issues with maintaining his battery and not having it for when he wants to use it. He uses it all so early in the race. And it's a weekly issue for him that we still haven't seen changed for a few seasons.
A few seasons. I think I've never seen him once be over 80% after lap 2.
Yeah, it's a strange driving style. I know there's been more than a few people talk to him about it, and I think he's just very adamant on the way that he drives. It's very interesting, to say the least. So we will go back and take a look at the tire strategies going on here. We've got the top 5 runners starting on medium tires. And my word, we have Dougie Falcons in 6th place, about 5-6 seconds behind the leaders on a hard set of tires. I've got Christian Cummins in the chat right now saying, Eruption has spun, guys. I'm calling a Dougie Falcons win. He is going to seek his way to the top. How do you feel about that, Freddie?
Oh, I mean, Dougie's losing so much time to these 2 drivers ahead. Although Dougie is on the hard tires, but if Christian's saying that, then I'm not going to agree with it. I mean, look at the time to him to Barnett. He's just not going to make that time up.
Yeah, I don't know if he can make it up on track. When you look at the track map, though, and you're like, oh, he's only like half a straightaway behind. even right here on the second DRS zone, it's like it almost seems achievable. We'll have to see if he can get out in some open air. I think right now, like you said, he's stuck behind Garrett Elder, and Sneaky, and especially Sneaky, is way off pace. Garrett's got to get by this guy for the sake of for his own race and Dougie's race. So we'll see if he can make that happen.
Dougie's actually 8 seconds behind, and he's still losing time to Ryan. So at this rate, it's
but I don't think that's because of Dougie's own pace, though. I think that's definitely because of the traffic.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think if Dougie can maybe potentially get past Gary and then obviously seek for a move on Sneaky, we'll see.
So we do have a yellow flag back there. Looks like maybe
Weil.
Weil had a moment, and he's gonna have another moment. And we almost had an "I am stupid" moment. Charles Leclerc, famous quote at Azerbaijan through the castle section.
Earlier.
Did we see one? Who had a D3?
I don't want to say it, but yeah, it's cushy.
Eruption's around.
Oh, right, yeah.
So Eruption goes around. Not sure what happened there. But he's gonna get it rolling again. I'm not sure if he has wing damage or not. Let's take a look at the third-person camera. Comes around the corner. He appears to be attacked from everything I can see. Garrett Elder is still stuck behind Sneaky. That is a shock to me.
Yeah, whether Sneaky's doing some amazing defense, just Garrett can't get past.
And I don't know if it's one of those things where Sneaky's just running 0-0 wings, and maybe he just can't turn, and that's why he looks so slow through these sectors. But I mean, everything that I'm watching from him looks like he is dead through the corners. We'll have to keep an eye on what happens on the straights, I suppose, but I almost was thinking maybe he had a broken wing. So from the garage of Aston Martin, there is some information that Sneaky has some light wing damage. So apparently that is known from the Aston Martin garage using telemetry from the Aston Martin team. Sneaky has some light wing damage, and I don't know if...
Oh, there's an Aston around. It's Nathan.
Oh, Nathan Doan, the reserve driver this week for Wild Fury. He'll be taking a little bit of a spin. He's going to drop down to P13. Not ideal for his tire strategy. Let's see if Garrett can get this gap closed down at all. It's 8/10 now. Garrett's going to have DRS. 7/10. It's getting closer, but
I think Stelio Repass is now going to make a move on combined YouTuber. Combined is now flashing out. They're both flashing. And Stelio's... Oh, he fights back combined. Going side by side through turn 1 is really switching, and he does it perfectly.
Yeah, combined YouTuber is always a tough racer. He's not going to be a guy to just pull over and give you position. And Stelio's had to use a lot of his battery right there to not even get by. He's going to try one more last-ditch effort on this straightaway, but now he's going to have no battery. This is it for him. He's got to make the stick. Otherwise, he's trapped here for a little bit, and yep, that's going to be tough. Garrett Elder, 3/10, the gap to Sneaky. You would almost think this is Monaco. People talk about how easy it is to pass here at Baku, but it doesn't look like it. Garrett has just been trapped. I don't know if he's chosen to go with a higher downforce setup than his other Williams teammates, but... Oh, and in there, Garrett has to take advantage of this. It's going to be side by side through here.
Oh, no.
And they're not going to fit. It just doesn't work, guys. It doesn't work that way. Someone's got to back out. A little bit of contact with Dougie and Garrett Elder. And he may give him a little bit of a NASCAR bump and run right there. We'll see if Dougie's able to get by. And maybe Dougie's like, you know what? Garrett can't get through. Garrett, I can't hang out here all day. I got to get by Sneaky. So Dougie Falcons is saying, it's time, guys. I'm at 9-lap-old hards. You guys are 9-lap-old mediums. The crossover has officially happened. Hard tires are the faster tire at this point, and Dougie's race is been compromised enough, I think is what he's saying. He needs to get a move on.
Yeah, Sneaky having a really... he went over the curb in turn 6, I'm pretty sure it is. Losing the car over the back end, which Garrett arrived...
into the pits.
Oh, right, yeah.
sneaky into the pits as well, and that is
I'll
going
see.
to open the seas. These laps for
I
Dougie
wonder,
Falcons right here are very important.
I wonder if he pits for wing damage. And I think that is a wing. Yeah, he's got wing damage, so that'll
Yep.
be around an 8-second stop.
And I don't know what the stewards will think about that, but he definitely compromised the race of Garrett and Dougie by staying out for that amount of time. He was slowing them down so much. I don't know what's considered excessive, but there's got to be a line in there somewhere.
Yeah, after that, Dougie's now 10 seconds behind Ryan, so when Dougie pits for the mediums, he's going to do it over a second a lap.
Christian Cummins in the chat calling it now. Ryan Newton will slip up, massive carnage behind him, and Dougie Falcons will emerge looking like Zac Efron on Baywatch.
I've actually never watched that, but heard it was good.
Dougie Falcons have a little bit of a moment there on the exit of a traction zone. And let's watch this gap to the leader. Let's go ahead and pull up the gap to the leader, because I think I'm kind of on board with what Christian's saying here. It's 11.1 seconds, the gap to Ryan Newton right now. But every lap that Ryan and Lights would stay out, I believe, is time lost to Dougie Falcons. And if a safety car were to come out later in the race, that would be massive to Dougie Falcons' advantage.
Absolutely. I think Beamer might have had a moment into turn 4.
Lights into the pits.
Okay. Maybe he's trying to do the... Oh, wait, has he got damage? I don't
No
think
wing
so.
change,
No.
no wing change.
Yeah, now we're seeing the medium runners pit. Maybe Barney thinking he's got the tyres to go longer.
It's actually a little bit early to pit from everything that I know. Well, from the knowledge that I have, at least, I feel like it's early to pit. Lap 10 was kind of an early jump, but I think what's happening is, who was the first one to jump into the pits? It was Lights, right? No, sorry, Magnussen Cube. Magnussen Cube went for that early pit stop, and it's really set off a chain reaction. You know, Lights is like, well, I can't stay out any longer. I don't really feel comfortable coming in now, but if I stay out any longer, I'm going to be losing track position to Lights, and I can't really afford that, so I'm going to have to come to the pits. Ryan Newton up here is really sticking true to the strategy that I think is listed as the optimal strategy. He's going to stay out here for maybe either this lap he'll come in or the next lap, and that's probably more efficient tire-wise. You can see right now he's not losing a whole lot of time to Dougie Falcons. He's probably lost half a second, but he's not losing a ton of time to Dougie Falcons, and there's not a whole lot of reason to come in just gaining extra tire wear.
So I'm just looking at the gap between Ryan and Dougie, and it's stayed the same.
Now he gained half a second on that lap. Like
Oh, has it?
Yeah. And
Oh, I'm behind then. Garrett's actually got a full battery now, so potentially making a move.
Ryan has to react. Kind of like I said, this has been a chain reaction. We saw Magnussen come in first, so we're going to have to watch this race on pit exit. It should still be Ryan Newton in front, but if Magnussen did get a crazy undercut, there's a chance that he has overtaken Barney. He's going to be coming down to turn 1 right now. Actually, might be closer than we think on exit. He's going to absolutely blow turn 1, and that's going to ruin any chance he has. Barney was going to be on cold hards, and he still is, but that is going to cost Magnussen huge time. He really could have been fighting for the lead at this very moment. So something happened. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. Dougie Falcons takes the lead because Barney is through. Barney's gone in the pits. Okay, that makes sense. So if you're a hard tire runner and you know the safety car chance at Baku, do you come in around the optimal pit time, like lap 14 or 15? Or do you just hang it out and wait for a safety car?
I'd probably just stay out, you know. It depends what division, because all divisions are different. Like, sometimes it depends on what track, but around this track, I'd definitely just stay out and hope for the best.
We take a look at our pit stops. We've got a lot of drivers who still have yet to stop.
Eruptions around.
Eruptions around again. So what's bad gets worse for Eruption in the Ferrari team. Not taking advantage of the DNF from Schrei. little bit of contact with the wall there for Garrett. Doesn't look like it's going to matter. Dougie has now gave the DRS gap to Garrett, which might bring Garrett into the pits this lap. Yeah, Garrett's like, I'm no longer being pulled by Dougie. No longer advantageous for me to stay out, so you're going to come into the pits. So
I think damage.
Was that?
Eruption.
Yeah, down on P17, he may have damage. That could be definitely
No impact.
close to the end of his race. So, P1 now, Dougie, Falcons, Stelios, Repas, 3 seconds behind. And what I also find interesting, Madison Cube is running down Ryan Newton. He's 2 seconds back, but who really lost out in that pit stop strategy, somehow Lights came out. He's now 4 seconds back, and he was right there in that battle as well, so not good for him or the rest of the Team Mercedes, with Schrei being DNF'd and then some sort of pit stop blunder. We have Mateo. Is that Mateo around? Yeah, Mateo goes around. Not good for Aston Martin team either. And that is going to be, I see some front end plate damage to the left side. He's probably going to have to come to the pits right here, so he's not holding up any other drivers.
Oh, Beam's around.
Beamer's around.
Oh, wait.
Oh, and he loses in a high-speed section. That could be a safety car.
And it
It
is.
is a full safety car. So Dougie Falcons.
Wow. So this is what I was saying earlier.
Yep. Beamer absolutely shattered his car through the exact same place that Schrei lost it. And, you know, maybe Christian Cummins spoke it into existence.
So, yeah, so Steo Repass also going to get a huge jump on these drivers. I wonder if any hard drivers actually will pit.
Well, Ryan Newton will still have the advantage. He will have the... Oh, Ryan Newton's coming in for another set of mediums. He's going to go ahead and
I think he knows his pace.
Wow, so Dougie Falcons has the lead of this race and the medium tire. Very, very lucky. But sometimes, you know, luck has to go your way, and this works out really well for Red Bull. Red Bull is going to now take the lead of the race, and Ethan Patel down at 18 not only does he gain a spot off of a non-Toretti's DNF, we have to remember every point counts, and Ethan Patel is going to be brought back into the race. He is pretty far back, though.
Who cares?
Well, you know, we tried to, in effort of sportsmanship, we need to keep eyes on everyone in this race, and we would love to see Ethan Patel get back on track this season as a whole. Right now, we know he's not a threat in the championship, but having Ethan Patel in form on a Zoom Racing League grid is always a treat to watch.
So now Ethan's back in this race, what's the objective for him?
Well, Ethan's going to go ahead and take the free pit stop because he can. The safety car is going to be under safety car for 3 laps because there's not likely a chance that Ethan Patel is going to catch up to it. So right now he's just got to get on this next set of mediums, and he's got to make it to the end of the race, and he's got to catch back up to that safety car too. That's first and foremost. You can see that he is 1 minute and 18 seconds back. So yeah, he's got to get a move on.
Yeah, I'm going to quickly take a... I'm going to quickly go on mute.
Yeah.
Won't be long.
No worries. We will enjoy this time under safety car, listening to the Red Bull engine.
And I'm back.
Hi, back. So Ethan Patel has now caught almost back up to the safety car. It'll be close whether the safety car decides to come in this lap or not. He will definitely have warmed up medium tires though, right behind Eruption. And that might be a little bit advantageous, honestly. Eruption is a very fast driver. And what's that?
Sneaky's around. He lost a few positions.
You lost a wing with it?
It looks intact, at least.
Yeah, it does look like it is intact. Ethan Patel, like I said, 18th, but this is Baku. And safety cars happen, tragedy happens. We just saw that Division 3 race, how it ended. Drivers absolutely dying coming around the final corners. And, you know, if you're Ethan, every position gets points in this league. You just stay close. That's all you need. Safety cars in this lap. So we're going to see Dougie is going to have to give himself a big gap to the safety car, and that's something we have to do specifically at Baku, and I'm glad that Dougie knows that. When the safety car comes in here, there's a long straightaway ahead, so if Dougie were to take off right now, there's a chance that he may pass the safety car, so he has to wait to make sure that safety car is almost all the way in before he takes off, because he does not want to get a penalty for passing the safety car under safety car. Safety car has come to the pits now. I said it 3 times in a row, but he's good to go whenever he wants, and Stelios is going to be behind him. Dougie's off. Stelios gets a pretty decent jump. He's got the battery down, but I think Dougie is going to be able to protect his position for sure. Let's see if we have any other possible position changes. Colin Edwards really close to the back of Garrett Elder. Down in 14th place as well. Looks like we're going to have Nathan Doan around the outside of Alex Duarte. If he can make it stick, and he's going to get by. Garrett Elder and Colin Edwards battling for position. Colin's going to get past Garrett. Says, Garrett, move out of the way. You're on hard tires. Garrett stayed out under that pit, under that safety car. Just realized. Tough for Garrett. Mateo fighting back with his teammate now of Nathan Doan down in P14. Combined YouTuber able to get by Lights, the Mercedes driver, first in the constructors. The Haas, who is supposed to be one of the worst teams on the grid, getting by the Mercedes driver. Lots of position changes going on. Garrett Elder again by Seb. No, that's Seb going around. And the session you were trying to spectate is no longer available. And that is not something we like to see. So we're going to head to intermission and we'll be right back.
Wait,
All right,
Ethan
guys.
P11.
We are back. I can't give you guys, unfortunately, I can't give you um um on 1 second. We're gonna get you guys telemetry going. That's pretty much all I can show you guys, unfortunately. We can watch this track map together. Track map together. Not sure why I'm hearing myself. Fred? Don't know if
Yeah,
that's you.
I don't think that was me. I don't know what was happening there, but well, this sucks. And 2 weeks in a row, it's not something you want to see.
No, it's definitely not. Trying to make some sense of this, what we're seeing right now. Aiden right here, who is showing the lead. This is from my telemetry settings. Aiden is actually Dougie Falcons. So, we've got Dougie Falcons up here in P1 currently. Looks like he's on the medium tire. We'll turn off the game audio, but right now we have, I'm not even sure how to see how many laps we've got left.
No,
Sorry
but
guys,
we're
I'm
not.
trying to figure this out just like you. All right, so I hope that you guys can actually see a little bit of this. We are on lap 24 of 26 right now. It shows Aiden in the lead. That is not Aiden. That is Dougie Falcons. So Dougie Falcons is still holding a 1.9-second gap in P1 right now. Looks like we have, in second place, we've got Colin Edwards, also known as Klinsman, in second place. In third place, we've got a Williams with their telemetry not showing.
Is Barney Goat there?
And that is Barney Goatmere. Fifth place, we've got another Williams with their telemetry not showing, so maybe we'll see some tickets in for the Williams not sharing telemetry. And not sure what happened there. Not sure if that's a glitch or if Dougie Falcons just got passed for the lead. So it is lap 25 now. I'm pretty sure Dougie Falcons is still the leader. I'm not sure who A52269 is.
I believe that's Stelio Repass.
Stelio, yeah, that would be Stelio, the second Alpine.
So maybe he's made a move on
I see him
Dougie.
way in the back, so I think there's some sort of glitch right there. I see him back behind Alex Duarte. So Dougie still, wow, that's really messed up the gaps. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and we'll zoom in on this. And we'll follow along. This is second to last lap. Here's our battle for the lead. We've got Dougie coming around the second to last corner. Colin Edwards right behind with Ryan Newton. The Williams without telemetry as they're going to make their way onto the final straight. And they're going to be ready to start their final laps. Deltas on the right-hand side are now showing correctly. So Aiden, also known as Dougie Falcons, going to be starting his final lap on the journey to his win. Also his teammate of Ethan Patel down in P11. He's made a heck of a recovery drive. Second place right now, we've got Colin Edwards, looking good for the Alpine team, but his teammate of Stelios Repas not looking so good right now. He was down in P13, I believe, even though telemetry is not showing that correctly. So fourth place, we got Madison Cube getting past Garrett Elder. Back here, close battle for fourth place. But still, we'll follow along with our leaders. Looks like Sneaky up here has had a moment, or maybe he DNF'd. I'm not sure what happened there. That might just be showing his dot. Coming through the second sector for the final time. Dougie Falcons. Klinsmann is right there. And he's going to give it everything he's got. Closing in that gap.
Oh, Barney spun apparently.
Oh, Barney has spun. Yeah, I don't see where Barney's at. I don't know where he went. Telemetry is off for the Williams driver. And another Williams. Okay, so here's our Williams back here in 6th and 8th place. I believe that is. Yeah, 6th and 8th. And here's Dougie Falcons coming around the final corner onto the straightaway. He's going to have the quick S section. High-speed S is right here to go through. But if he gets through that cleanly, it should be a win for Dougie Falcons. Coming to the line, Klinsmann's going to have DRS. But the finish line is right here. And Dougie Falcons is going to cross the line and get the win here at the Baku City Street Circuit. Behind him, we're looking like we're going to have Magnus and Cube about 9 seconds back for a podium. And appears that I'm tabbed into Dougie's telemetry, guys, and I think Dougie tabbed out. So if Dougie tabs out, I lose telemetry. So we're going to look at where they are on track right now. We got Magnus and Cube, who looks like he's going to finish P3. We got the Mercedes driver right here without telemetry. I'm not sure who this is.
It will be
Seb? No? I don't know.
what's his name? The Australian of Lights.
Lights, okay. And then back here, we've got Barney Goatmere, followed by combined YouTuber Garrett Elder, followed by Mateo. Technic Speedy making some positions up. Believe he's P9. Then we got the Ferrari in P10. Alex Duarte right here coming around the corner. P11. What's that?
Just saying he's in P11.
Yep, and then followed by the Alpine of A5269, Pog, and then Eric McNerney back here going to Castle section. So that's how it's going to finish, guys. I am really sorry that we weren't able to cover this in race. I'm very happy, though, that the Division 2 drivers were able to finish it, and it was just the broadcasters who lost connection. But, you know, we're going to do everything we can to give you guys the coverage you deserve. I know you guys put a lot of time practicing this, and it sucks. The broadcast has been messed up now 2 weeks in a row, but we can still do what we can with it. So we can go ahead and get our waiting room in here. I see Magnus and Cube already in the waiting room. He did get P3, so let's go ahead and pull him in. Magnus and Cube, congratulations on your podium finish. I believe you got P3. We actually lost the broadcast, but I'm not sure what kind of happened after about lap 20. Give us a little rundown.
So not a lot happened. I was stuck behind Garrett Elder for a lot of the final few laps, and then it was just the last lap where I see Garrett Elder spin at turn 3, and then Ryan Newton spun like the next corner, and then the whatever ghosted car there was, and I just took full advantage and held it to the line for 3rd place.
Well, congratulations on your win, man. I know that I follow you on Twitter, and I saw that on Twitter this week you posted a very impressive time trial time, and you said that it was a must-win week for you. Not a win this week, but a podium. Are you still happy with that result?
Yeah, honestly, a podium's the worst I could have achieved with the amount of pace. I just couldn't get a good lap, like a really good lap, a 39 flat that I was setting in GP mode, but I'm very happy, especially 4 races into my first full season, and this is the kind of result I get. I'm honestly quite happy.
Is this your first podium that you've had in Zoom Racing League?
Yeah.
So will this interview be clipped and posted on Twitter?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Well, if so, shout out to all the Magnus and Cube's Twitter followers. He earned this today. It was a fantastic race. Magnus and Cube, great race, bud. And we look forward to seeing you back next week.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. All right, let's go ahead and drag Dougie up into the broadcast booth. Dougie Falcons, congratulations on your win. We weren't able to see the end of the race. I was able to tab into your telemetry, though. luckily you and I are still connected on telemetry, so that was able to give us a different perspective of broadcast. So thank you for that, first of all. But what happened on those final few laps? Give us a rundown, considering we weren't able to tune in.
Yeah, it was a bit tense towards the end. Klinsmann was starting to catch me towards the end. I think my tires started to die out. And eventually we still ended up winning it, but by like a second. And I think Barney was third, I believe. I'm not entirely sure what was the rest of the race, but yeah, no, it was a fortunate safety car that kind of gave us that win because we were kind of nowhere. But I'll take it as it comes, and yeah, it was a good recovery after a pretty mediocre qualifying again. So yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the beginning of that race, you were trapped behind Sneaky, who turns out was driving with wing damage, and Garrett Elder. Did you feel like your strategy was being compromised at all? And did you feel a sense of urgency, like I have to get by these guys, or what was kind of going through your head?
I wasn't too nervous because I knew like the top five had medium tires, so I knew that they were probably going to go to the hard to the end, assuming no safety car. And yeah, like I think when it got to around like that, a few laps in, like 7 or 8 or something, I started to be a bit more urgent. And then I think towards then, I think that was when actually, I think the Alfa Romeo, I believe, had like his moment, nearly half spun in turn 7, and I think I think it was Garrett, I believe, that was going side by side, in the castle section, which was kind of scary as hell because I was right behind it, and yeah, fortunately we survived, but yeah, it was very sketchy from there, and like I made the positions up from that, so yeah, it was kind of worrying at one point because I think the gap went up to like 11 seconds to Barney. And I was like, okay, so the only way I could win this is through a safety car. And then luckily a safety car came out at the moment I wanted to pit anyway. So yeah, that was fortunate. And yeah, it was just from there we just tried to hold on the medium tires and we worked well on the medium tires.
Well, regardless, it was a heck of a drive. It did take a little bit of luck, but sometimes luck has to come your way in racing. So very good race, Dougie, and I think that you've put a dent into Lights, I believe, who was the championship leader, and definitely a dent in the Mercedes team with a Schride DNF this race. Decent points on a recovery drive from your teammate as well. So
yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say good to Ethan because I think he's had a tough couple of races, and I hope he does well.
Yeah, exactly. So,
in the next few races.
Yeah, good job to both of you, and congratulations on your win one more time. And we will see you next week at France.
Yeah.
All right, Freddie, any final words after an interesting finish to our Baku street circuit?
Never buy F1 again. Waste of money. This is what you get when you actually play the game, and it's just not enjoyable, I'd say.
It's interesting words, but I know where you're coming from. I know the pain that a lot of us have gone through trying to play this game, and it's frustrating for a lot of us. But nevertheless, we're all addicted sim racers, and we can't stop playing. So we will be back tomorrow night for our Division 1 race here at Baku. Our prime drivers here on this interesting, unpolished version of an F1 game. We'll give it a go. If you guys liked what you saw today, we gave it our best effort in the booth. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Turn that notification bell on. And we look forward to seeing you guys for more F1 2022 sim racing action.